Hello everyone. I do apologize for not making a video in a bit of time. I was again on vacation doing something with my family. And for today and later today, I'm gonna have two videos for you guys. This one, which will be about my review of my cat's here. My cat's here to help the review with the Jungle Book review, because I got to see that away with my dad and my sister. And I'm going to make another video, which is of my 2015 movie collection DVDs, essentially. And, and just to continue on with this, are you ready, Emmy? Oh, she is not. Oh, well. Well, essentially, the Jungle Book is directed by Jon Favreau, and this is kind of like a callback to the old Disney the Disney version of Jungle Book, but it's also still based off the novelization of Rudyard Kipling's novelization. That's like in the early 1900s, and I never read the book. I've only seen the Disney movie version. As a kid, I loved it. Is it like my favorite Disney movie ever? Probably not, but I still really have great memories of that movie personally of mine. Shut your mouth, cutie pie. I'll just hold you like this, alright? And, and essentially the story about this film is about this kid named Mowgli, what the animals reference him as a man-child, or a man cub, because he was raised by wolves, by these wolves, his mother and father were wolves. I forgot the voices, but they did great. And then he's also being raised by this panther voiced by Ben Kingsley, who also does an excellent job. And that's, they essentially have this place of their watering hole and Shere Khan. Nothing normal around there. I think nice community and lovely situations and all that. Comfy? You don't look comfy on the camera. Oh goodness. Oh well. Alright, I'll get to you. And essentially Shere Khan comes around, and he's like saying, he does like the essence. He does like the idea or the essence of the ability of a human around him, because he's kind of like traumatized by the idea of humans, and that he's been burned by them and on his face. Not significantly, but he has been. And he has this real hatred and real prejudice against humans, and the mere thought of this man cub being around in that area just pisses him off so much. And he's like, no matter what, he's like, I will kill him. I don't care who gets in my way. And the kid runs away, saying he's like he doesn't belong. It doesn't matter to him anymore. He doesn't want people, any of his friends or family, to get in the way, or for them to get killed because of him. It's like, so essentially he runs away very selflessly, or selfishly, who the hell knows? Okay, sorry, honey. And she needs, because she's an animal. She needs to give her opinion on this. Did you like this? I loved it. Wonderful. Essentially that the kid comes across Baloo, voiced by Bill Murray, and that he also comes across these colorful characters like Kaa, voiced by Scott Johansson, and King Louie, voiced by Christopher Walken, and a bunch of these colorful characters he comes across and that finally he kind of comes back as a whole and faces his biggest fear, his intimidation, and the question is, will it take his life or not? And personally speaking, of my build up towards this movie, I wasn't really that pumped, but I'm like, it looks interesting. Like the last year's promo footage we got from, I forgot where it was, like somewhere in California, or like press conferences, something like that. That footage was impressive. I really liked that, but none of it really bought me in. And so like my anticipation in this movie wasn't enormous like everyone else's was, but I was eagerly anticipating this movie. And then the critics came along, and I heard nothing but praise upon praise upon praise upon praise, and I'm like, holy crap, okay, I really gotta see this. So yeah, the last week or so, I have been hyped to see this movie, and it floored me. I was so fucking blown away by this film. Let's talk about what, in my opinion, my favorite part of this film, what worked for the film as a whole in the first place, and that is the voice casting. The voice casting in this movie is superb for any CG movie ever. Like, fully, the voice casting and the CG is just it's just excellent. Like 97% of this film is CG. The only thing that isn't is this kid, who, by the way, we've never seen this kid before, and he's giving a freaking great performance. I was, like this, I would thoroughly say, it's probably the best, in my opinion, the best kid performance probably since Hugo. And I'm personally not a big fan of that movie, but I thought the kid performance in that movie was fantastic. And yeah, that's just a good comparison, I'd say. The effects I thought were fantastic. Now, granted, I saw this in 3D. I've heard people say, it's good to see it in 3D. Why don't you see it in 3D? And so I saw it in 3D. I don't know. It could be my fault or not, or the CG's fault. I don't know for sure. But there's a couple moments I'm just like, was it needed to be CG or not? Because I don't know. Same thing with the second Hobbit movie, is that you don't, if you saw it in 3D, because I did as well, you can't tell the difference. You could tell within the difference. And I just went out and seen the movie once. No clause. You can't really tell if it's CG or not at times. That's a really impressive feat for its own sake. When you're saying to yourself, is that really CG or not? It's like, shit, that's so good. But since I did see it in 3D, I'm just like, it kind of felt a bit more trans through. I felt like a bit more cheated out of the effects than it normally would be in 2D. Then I don't know for sure that's my fault or not. Alright, sit properly, honey. Sit properly. Okay, you're gonna sit here. Okay, you wanna move? Alright. Okay. Okay, you wanna go? Yeah, but seriously, the effects were fantastic. The voice casting by everyone is just excellent. I loved everyone in this movie. The Shere Khan, who was the villain, voiced by Idris Elba, fan-freaking-tastic. He was genuinely terrifying in that role. Like, I actually felt really intimidated and really, really freaked out and scared whenever he was in the scene. It's like he has such a presence that you're like, shit, he's here. Like, it's kind of like the same thing in Harry Potter, where it's like, oh no. Like, you feel this cataclysmic, horrific event when he's around. It's like, oh shit, that. And it's like, it has that real psychological warfare for that villain. I think is brilliant. Ben Kingsley as a strong-willed and very, very determined father figure that Mowgli looks up to. I thought he was great. He had a lot of discipline and strength to his performance. I thought he was fantastic in the role. And then the next character is the free-spirited Baloo, voiced by Bill Murray. That's freaking awesome. Like, he's amazing. You got some serious freaking talent of the last few decades in this movie. And Bill Murray, I've always loved. He can almost do no wrong in my eyes. This is still awesome. I loved it. He was so fun and cool, just free, nurtured, and laid back. I really liked him. And he really just added how he had a fantastic chemistry with the kid. And you can tell, I just felt like that intimate, cool, laid back intimacy with Baloo. I thought he was fantastic. Christopher Walken as King Louie the orangutan. That's freaking hilarious. It's Christopher Walken as a monkey. Who the hell doesn't think that's funny? it's just, it writes itself, and every time he talks, and it's like, it's not distracting, but you're kind of like, he was a bit too notable for his role. And he's like, when you talk this, it was very much more of Christopher Walken than of Christopher Walken playing the character, which is very odd because he's just so Christopher Walken like that you kind of can't help but go, you know, that's him. He's so silly, you love it. He's still really good, but he was a bit too jarring for me at times. But the moments where since he was sensing the orangutan, the moments where he would like pound out that monkey rage or the orangutan rage that he would have within himself, that for me was so freaking terrifying. And that chase scene with all those monkeys in that temple, I thought was so. That must have been honestly the most suspenseful scene in any movie this year so far. I love that moment. And the moments where King Louis essentially goes apeshit. Sorry, that was cheap. The moments where he would go apeshit, those moments were just terrifying. And Scarlett Johansson as a snake. If that's not perfect casting, then I don't know what is. That to me is like, that's freaking amazing. That is just freaking amazing. That's like awesome, man. Like, that's so brilliant. I love Scarlett Johansson, and like her hypnotic, beautiful, sexy voice really lends well to the hypnotic, almost like a drug hallucinating feel that you get within the snake from all the other adaptations. I think she was fantastic. Oh, that's adorable. She was just fantastic. She just was. And that's just on the main voice cast in the movie. They were all fantastic. The CG was amazing. I just felt like this. Granted, you couldn't really identify with the characters, but you could identify with moments and how they could feel and all the other things that was going on. I felt like it was a very compelling journey, more than it was a compelling characters. Even though they were good characters, you just didn't feel that attached to them, like any other Avenger movie, really. But it still plays to its strengths, and I think that's brilliant. And in my opinion, it's just 100% continuously entertaining and engaging in so much. Again, the environment is so. Again, it's so beautifully shot at times, and there's a couple moments you will notice from trailers where it has that small, nice silhouette feel to it. That has some really good cinematography, but then some other moments where you could feel like there's like that big river flow of CG within it, but it doesn't come obvious. You still feel like it's so real. And the moments where you see like a fern blowing in the wind, or the whiskers on a tiger blow, or anything like that, you really felt it. And for me, my favorite animal that I personally thought was. It's really hard to differentiate this, but it's like I felt like the person who did the best with the work. I mean, the standout voice for me was Scarlett Johansson as a snake. But I felt like Bill Murray as Baloo was probably the most well suited, probably tied with Idris Elba as Shere Khan, and he was fantastic as well. Yeah, it's just an excellent movie. You know, I loved the characters. I love so much of it. Like, I can honestly probably go on for another, like, 30 minutes, but I won't do that for that long. I'm now limiting my videos to, like, under 20 minutes. I wasn't told that, but I'm just thinking to myself right now. But yeah, as much as I could just freaking praise the shit out of this one. I really could, and I want to, and I will, because I've done that for the last 14 minutes right now. You may ask me as a whole, is there anything I don't like about this movie? Well, there's nothing I don't like, but I do feel like I wouldn't say Scarlett Johansson was underutilized, but they gave her it just feels like there was like the one outstanding moment with her. Not a huge spoiler, but she gets one scene, and it's a fantastic scene. It seriously is. But I'm not, again, being like here in film now. We're getting so spoiled and privileged. I just wish there was more of her, and that's not like being like, like I want more. No, it's like I really got feeling like, as fantastic as she was, she seriously should have been utilized more in this movie. And I think she was such a commanding. Her voice was so commanding and so jaw-dropping in her performance in this movie that you really felt like there should have been more than one scene that really bring her service. Like everyone got more than, like everyone gets an outshining moment in this film, but they all have multiple scenes that really make that shine. With her, you only get one, and you wish there was just more. To some perspective, I would say she is kind of underutilized, but still, it's like she makes that one moment count. And yet the film is so freaking entertaining. You kind of do forget about it because you're so invested with the world and the characters and how bright and vibrant and cool it is that you kind of do forget at a point. And if you're saying, oh, I wish there was more of this in this movie, but you were still so wrapped up and amazed by everything else, then you kind of have no right to complain about that. You're still so invested by everything else. So yeah, I feel a bit contradicted by that. But as a whole, yeah, I just think she was a bit underutilized. I wish there was just more than that one scene with her. And as much as I adore the CG, again, with the 3D thing, is it really worth it? With 3D, you can't really tell if the CG is being truly that amazing. It's like you really should see this movie 2D first and then 3D instead of 3D then 2D, which I am doing. I'm seeing this film again essentially. Like I would just want to stress to you, it's probably better seeing this 2D than 3D. Is the CG good in this movie? I'd say it's fair. It's not the worst utilization of 3D, but it seems pointless. Yeah, like any other film out recently about it, to be honest. And I would say it's very much of today's CG, so I don't know in essence if this CG as a whole is going to hold up or not. Same thing with one of my favorite films of all time, the 2005 remake of King Kong. I love that CG. I still think that CG looks amazing. A lot of people thought that at that time, but it's like, will this hold up? And that's something I think this movie should kind of take into consideration. Is that when you look at this film as a long-term state of things, because every film is essentially when you go back in time to see this movie again. Will the CG hold up? I don't know 100% for sure if it will or not. And that's kind of a bit concerning, but it's definitely not hampering my experience on the movie. And as a whole, with my two somewhat okay but meandering, kind of noticeable problems, I just love this movie to death. And in the end, it just blew me away as a whole. And just sorry for that. That was my dad coming in. In the end, I love this movie. My two problems are pretty noticeable still. I still kind of wish just please more of Scarlett Johansson. And I kind of do worry for the CG in this movie for a future sense. There's my only two problems with the movie. But as a whole, I walked away with this movie saying to myself, this is my favorite movie of this year at this point. My problems with the movie, of course I do. Every film does. But in the end, I effing fucking loved this film. I loved it to death. And in the end, even still with his problems, I'm going to give this film 100%. I am still so certain to give that rating. I don't know for sure if I'm giving that No, I think I gave Deadpool 100%. But in the end, yes. In the end, that's my review for the Jungle Book, everyone. I really hope you enjoy it. And I do apologize for this video being a bit longer than it is. But in the end, that's just my review. And stick around for always in the future for more videos. As always, till then, everyone, thank you much for watching. And I'll see you in the future for my DVD movie, for my 2015 movie DVD collection video. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.